Okay, on to Warlocks for our Season of Discovery rune coverage. Going in the chest, we get Demonic Tactics. Increases melee and spell critical chance of you and your pet by 10%. Cold Lake of Fire. Rain of Fire also leaves Lake of Fire on the ground that increases all fire damage you deal and your demon pet deals to affected enemies by 40% for 15 seconds. Kind of weird wording here. I think they're trying to get across that it's all damage that any pet you have out is going to deal, as opposed to just the fire damage of like your imp. But it could be either way. It's kind of not exactly clear there. Gain the Master Channeler ability. Your drain life is no longer channeled. Lasts 15 seconds with a 15-second cooldown. Costs 100% more mana and heals you for 50% more each time it deals damage. So it gives you a nice dot. It's cool. Gain the Soul Siphon ability. It increases the amount drained by your drain life and drain soul spells by an additional 6%. For each of your Warlock shadow effects afflicting the target up to a maximum of 18% additional effect. How do you get to 18? 6, it's 3 different ones. Corruption, Agony, and I guess your Curse probably counts. So anyway, on the hands, Chaos Bolt. Sends a bolt of chaotic fire at the enemy, dealing a lot of fire damage. Chaos Bolt always hits, cannot be resisted, and its knowledge causes all your fire spells to pierce through absorption effects. I remember Chaos Bolt itself used to pierce, but not make all your other fire effects pierce. Oh, and you gain Haunt, so that's how you can easily get to the 18% for your Soul Siphon. But anyway, Haunt unleashes a ghostly soul on an enemy, dealing damage, increases all shadow damage over time you deal to the target by 20%. When Haunt ends or is dispelled, you be healed for all the damage it dealt to your target. Okay, Metamorphosis. This is your tanking thing. So Warlocks will be able to tank in Season of Discovery, so transform into a demon, increasing armor by 500%, reducing the chance you will be critically hit by 6%, increasing your threat by 100%, increases mana gained from life tap by 100%, transforming the functionality of some of your abilities and granting some new abilities. Searing Pain is now instant, which Searing Pain generates a high amount of threat. Pretty cool. Is fire damage, so useless in Molten Core, and so maybe you can't tank Molten Core, but maybe when we get to the level 60 cap, instead of just going through the normal raid tiers, they've just got like a revamped raid, just like at the other tiers. We'll have to see. Shadow Bolt becomes Shadow Cleave, Shadow Melee attack that hits up to 3 nearby enemies, but has a 6-second cooldown. Curse of Recklessness. Now also taunts the target to attack you for 3 seconds, but gains a 10-second cooldown and rage is reduced to melee. Demon Charge. Charge an enemy stun for 1 second. Cannot be used in combat. It's kind of lame. Demonic Hell forces all nearby enemies to focus you for 6 seconds. So you get an AoE taunt, which looking at the other tanking classes in Rogue and Shaman, like they had abilities changed to be a single target taunt. I didn't see anything that give them an AoE taunt, so that's pretty cool. Shadow Bolt Volley. Your Shadow Bolt now strikes up to 5 targets within a chain distance of 10 yards, but for 20 reduced damage. It's just a flat 20. It's not a percentage. Not bad. So yeah. That's interesting. So your Master Channeler not having to channel it is maybe warlocks are going to be like a drain tank where you're actually generating a lot of threat just not only off of the damage you deal but the self-healing you're dealing and kind of sustaining yourself. It's kind of cool. So legs, demonic grace. Gain demonic grace ability. Surge with fell energy, increasing your pets and your own dodge chance by 30%, and your chance to critically strike with all attacks by 30%. Last 6 seconds. So, yeah, okay. Dodge chance by 30 and crit by 30? Okay. Demonic Pact. Your pet's critical strike. Apply the demonic pact effect to your party members for 45 seconds. Demonic pact increases spell damage and healing by 10% of your spell damage, or level divided by 2, whichever is higher. Does not work on subjugated demons. Okay. Everlasting Affliction. Your drain life, drain soul, shadow bolt, shadow cleave, searing pain, incinerate, and haunt. Refresh the duration of corruption on the target back to its maximum duration. Cool. Incinerate. Burn your enemy for good amount of damage and increases all fire damage you deal by 25% for the next 15 seconds. So we're getting a lot of fire stuff here with Chaos Bolt and that, and like Lake of Fire. So you have this whole thing of like you Lake of Fire just to get the pool and incinerate, and then Chaos Bolt and incinerate until your Lake of Fire's gone. And yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting, like as far as runes go, in that you could actually just kind of take, like you would take this and you would go like destruction. But as far as like tanking goes, and you come in here and you maybe take all this stuff, your dodge chance, like you're not necessarily forced. Like maybe you like you're kind of just forced into this for tanking, but the rest of this tree isn't going to do too much for you. I mean, you could say you're going to have a Void Walker and just park it far enough away from the fight that maybe it doesn't die to AoE for 10% or your 2% reduced physical damage. But I don't know. I mean, Fell Hunter is probably the way to go. But you could actually see like it doesn't change all your abilities. You could still just run dots and stuff and come into Affliction or Demo or even Destruction, because with Destruction your Searing Pain is now instant, so you might actually just be spamming Searing Pain and you want all these Destruction talents to increase its damage and threat output. So there's a lot to be tested here as far as like Warlock tanking is concerned, and that kind of interests me. Like Warlock was my first class that I ever played up and rated on and stuff, and you know, as they've definitely changed. You're not just going to click Shadow Bolt all day. So this has made it not nearly as boring. You're actually going to have like a rotation of stuff. So probably be my first alt is a tanking Warlock, and try to see how this all feels. So, but we'll move on. We've only got warrior left, so let's cover that next.